The other thing I've got going on tonight, my 61 shipyard is now done. Yay, level 61 shipyard. Woohoo! I built it. Can't do that yet. Okay. Guess we could do this building. Sure, why not? Let's take that Nova Squad building up. All right, so now I've got shipyard 61. And what that means is that I can build a Selkie now. I have 17 million rep across all my factions. So I can just kind of divide it how I want to here. It's an expensive ship. It's 1.5 million faction credits basically to unlock the whole thing. You do get a couple of blueprints from some missions and stuff, so you can make that a little bit cheaper, but not a whole lot cheaper. There's also no slider on this, so I guess I have to click this thing 14 times. Do 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 do. And again, if I wanted to split the cost, I could. I'll probably buy the last like 30 or 40 from a different faction, just in case I want to build something else. I probably have enough credits. I could build 2 of them, but I think I'll pass. Let's do this to get to 90. And there's 100. All right, let's hop over to Romulan because I've got 2.2 million of those. And we'll spend some of those as well. Yeah, I will probably just do 1 to start because again, I'm just trying to do just enough to get like the dailies done. And I think this should be more than sufficient to make that happen. I'll be honest too, I don't even know if I'll be able to build it. Like I'll be able to build it, but I don't know what the build time on it's going to be. And of course we know Latinum costs are ridiculous for trying to upgrade stuff. So we might not actually be able to actually finish building it tonight. But let's just see what happens here when we put it on in. Yes, the Selkie is it's the G6 version of the Nova. It's a independent universal miner that has a benefit against all 3 types of ships, resources, and you can fund it from any of the 3 factions as long as you have the appropriate rep, which in this case is 17 billion level dignitary. Oh, it only takes 18 hours. That's not bad. As we covered in the other night, the base warp range on it starts around 840, and then I have other bonuses and stuff, which is why it's getting up to 948 because of Kirk and warp particles, etc. 30,000 Sigma Tritanium, as well as a bunch of 6-star mats. So, okay, let's build it. And let's get some helps going on that. And we'll see what we can do to shave that down a little bit later. Yeah, there is also some hazard research and other things that are specific to having the Selkie that do actually require you to have it. The adaptive skin was the one we looked at the other night, which gives it some resistance to the hazards. Although, as we also covered, you don't really need to do hazard mining because you get more than enough hazard particles now. It's this one out here, this adaptive skin, which gives it more hazard resistance so you can mine in the hazard systems, but you get more than enough particles now from the pinnacle events that you don't really need to do that daily anymore. I guess if you wanted to do the stuff a little faster, you could do that, but it doesn't necessarily seem to matter as much, so there may be some other things. I don't know if there's anything else in here that specifically relates to the Selkie, but I guess we'll wait and see in just a minute. So, what cheese crew are you looking for, Picard? What's up, Falcon Paul? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad. What's my Nova and DTI building at? My Novas are tier 5. Both my Novas. I have two Novas. They're both tier 5. And the only reason I even took them that far is just because of events that require you to spend materials. What's up, Oded? What were my deciding factors to move from 60 to 61? That's a long story that I'm not going to completely recap, but I did do a video on it, which is on my YouTube page, when I moved up on Sunday. Spent about an hour kind of going through everything and then actually moved up and kind of explained my reasons why in the first part of it before I actually made the move. So if you're really curious, I would just redirect you there to watch that. Yes, Barkman points out it's definitely the warp range. The G6 miners, for G6 mining, it starts at 900. And the even the silent hostile systems are 950. So the Nova maxed is like 540. So you're not going to get there with the Nova. Your only other option is to use a 58 rare, but you got to get that to like tier 7 to have the warp range up high enough in order to make that jump and not need the Selkie. But then again, you get the Selkie fairly early, so I've just skipped my mining dailies. The first day I relocated my base around, to get a bunch just so I could start doing some of the refinery pulls. But since then, I've done 0 G6 mining for the last 5 days. It just hasn't been worth it to me to keep relocating my base. I was like, you know what? I'll have the Selkie by the weekend. I can skip those events for a few days. I'm good. Come on, guys, hit that help button. I'm trying to build a new ship. 14 out of 21 helps. What's going on? What are we up to? All right, so we're down to 14 hours. So that would cost me about 1,000,000 Latinum. All right, can we get the other 3 hours? Do I have enough? Nah, maybe. I can use up 1 or 2 of those. 1 or 2 of those. How about a bunch of these? I don't have any 1-minute speed ups. All right, we'll use another 5-minute. Haha, we did it. I can now reveal my Selkie. Ooh. See, this is the fun part with animations. This is why I don't turn animations off. Because at least the first time you build a ship, it's cool seeing them come out of dock and everything and go through all that stuff. If I build 2 or 3 more of them, no, I don't care about them. I don't care about a Mayflower or whatever it was if it comes out of a dock these days. But all right, let's see what we got. There is our new Selkie. So we're starting off. I have no hazard research of any type or resistances. It is warp 948, so I can't make it to token space. which are 950, but I can make it to the regular systems. I would have to use Scotty or somebody, or put Grush on here, who's supposed to actually be on here, to give the synergy with cargo. Let's do some ship levels too. Now I've got an officer slot. I don't know why you're there. You should be there because that's another 80% protected cargo from Reg. Thanks, Reg. And I probably want to flip you guys to get the protected cargo as high as I can. What is my protected cargo? 139. Yikes. Not good. Not good at all. And that's even with protected cargo officers. The good part is that there's not a lot of people who are probably flying around in G6 space hunting for OPCs. So you probably have a little more flexibility. Like this is a hazard system right there, but I don't want to go there just yet. I would want to go find... Can't make it to that one. That's 1100. Where are... Is it this one? Yeah, let's go to that one. Let's go there. So. Doesn't the Borg gas miner have better protected cargo? Not by much, and the math and the percentages are fairly low. Plus, that officer's actually on this ship. This is my primary crew. These guys are occupied right now on a node currently. They may flip-flop ships later. But even as a secondary crew, it's not adding a whole lot percentage-wise. Picard, you take your Nova to tier 8 so you can do more deep space mining and have players actually be able to kill stuff. Honestly, that's why my guys are usually, or at least half the time, are in Dominion space. I just use these token systems here. Get 40, 50 million a pop. Because our server doesn't allow you to hit stuff in token space. So I take advantage of these systems and max out, 30, 40 million, 40 to 50 million per trip. And then I'm usually good for a few days. Doesn't stop rogue players, though. We don't really have too many of those on our server. Especially being in the #1 alliance on the server. Being a rogue player, not exactly the fight you're going to pick anyway. But I understand your point. I know it doesn't apply for everybody. Everybody's got situation is unique. Every server operates differently. And if that's what you have to do to make yourself feel more comfortable or to succeed on your particular server, you do what you got to do. Can I just switch crew out in space? No, Sasquatch, can't do that yet. Matt, how are your servers merging next week? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Nope, tasks still not refreshing here. Still taking their sweet ass time. Let's see if I re-roll something else. They're not coming back. Your server typically doesn't allow it, but obviously you have rogue players who might do whatever they feel like. And I guess they certainly could if they got the tokens to keep going in and out. Acquire 2200 uncommon crystal. Okay, let's start that task. Acquire 2200 crystal. Bonus converter G6. We're going to go ore to crystal. 1, 2, 3 times. Because you can see the regular refinery now is just commons, and it's pretty terrible. So bam, we just finished that task. Woohoo, yay! I guess if I wanted to, I could convert it back if I found a different one. Convert crystal to, convert ore or something like that. But hopefully I can find something that may not require me to use up the rest of those tokens. I can just do something cheap as well and just, spend some rare credits or something. And just take a 4,000 pointer. We'll come back in a minute. All right, so we got our miner out. So just for comparison's sake, right? A G5 miner with a solid mining crew. I think this is Quark and 4 of 11, and probably Arak. I think it's probably giving Quark synergy here. Mining on this node here, I mine at 5,600 an hour. This is a terrible mining rate to use without a, just using a G5 on common Nova. 5,600 an hour is what we're looking at. With a tier 1 cell, it's a tier 5 Nova, by the way, with the skins too. I have all 3 skins for that. Tier 1 Selkie, 35,000 an hour. 7 times as high. I've done no upgrades, no research. That's just what it is right out of the box with a crew on it. Getting 35,000 an hour. And my max cargo or protected cargo, I think I said like about 135 or so about 3.5 hours. I'll be at my PC limit. And my daily goal is only what's my daily goal? 60,000. So 2 hours, and then I could flip it and move it to a different node to keep working on all of those. Now Chris is pointing out, look at the comparison in reverse. All right, here's a G5 miner. I'm currently mining this at 244,000 per hour with my tier 5 Nova and, protected cargo type Ferengi crew. The Selkie would mine this at 1.9 million per hour. That's pretty crazy. That is a pretty crazy number. And I think we have a territory. Still, yeah, we got two now. Let's go look at Isogen, as I'm being instructed to. G5 Nova on an Isogen, 404 per hour. Selkie, 3 million per hour. That's tier 1 Isogen. Tier 2 Isogen, again, if you're so inclined to actually mine it. Tier 5 Nova, 800,000 an hour. Tier 1 Selkie, 6 million an hour. 7 minutes to drain a 750k node. And tier 3, pretty crazy still. That Nova would be 1.2 million per hour. These are 1 million nodes, right? Yeah. So just over 49 minutes to drain the node completely. Again, assuming you have the protected cargo space for it. And the Selkie is 4.5 minutes. It mines at 9 million an hour. You'll take the whole node in just under 5 minutes. This should definitely enable you to keep up with, if you don't want to use your X-Borg credits to keep doing that, you can keep going and draining this stuff pretty fast. And, then you can have the ability to do higher refinery pulls in your territory bundle instead of having to just do like the middle pull, the 3 chest pull. Now you should easily be able to afford the 4 chest pull, which for some of you may not matter because you don't care about the research and things, but it may make a difference in terms of the honeycombs that you're getting, the alloys here, so then you can convert into more of the materials faster. Instead of maybe every 3 or 4 days you're doing this 10 chest pull, maybe you're doing it every 2 days. And then that'll help your alliance get more of these resources so you can keep territory bonuses activated, which is a pretty big thing. Does it have the cargo capacity? Let's see, what are we starting at here? 740k. That's what more of a protected cargo crew. I would flip that and go more cargo capacity crew. I could probably get close to the million, maybe, if I was just using cargo space officers. But you're right, you probably wouldn't have enough. I'd probably be full in like 3 minutes. Which isn't terrible to sit there for 3 minutes and just wait till you're full and then fly back to base and then come right back and keep on going. You could certainly stock up pretty quickly. Now let's go see if there's any more research that opened up. All of the G6 research so far is all in the combat tree. And it's all way out here. So now that I have the Selkie, I can get this adapting skin, which boosts my hazard resistance. I only need to get that up to like level 3 to get 100%, and then that should be pretty decent for going into some of those hazard systems. That's a prime. I don't think anything else opened up. Maybe I have to do this one first. This one also opened up. Base hull health of all Federation ships. Why didn't I get this one yet? Oh, because I don't have 18 billion points. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to get my Federation ship up higher anyway. So this one seems fairly easy to do because this is just base hazard particle research. So that seems pretty easy to obtain. With the large quantities of this hazard particles that are now being given out in the Pinnacle of Power event for G6 players. So even though you don't need to do G6 mining and hazard systems, it's easier for you to get the ability to do that. It's like a 6-star North Star, kinda. Mine's super fast, crazy fast, doesn't have a whole lot of cargo space. Kind of like that for sure. And it's 300 million power too, which I don't know what kind of damage it can put out, but It's there. Sean was asking when is the earliest you can unlock G6 to mine? Op 61. Everything is behind a red locked warp path. I guess technically maybe not. If you went to if you had a 58 if you had a 58 miner that was at least like tier 8, you could get into here because this requires warp 950. So if you had a Nova, I'm sorry, not a Nova, one of the 58 rare miners that you took to like tier 8 and probably still need Grush, you might have just enough warp range to get into here, this level 61 silent hostile system where there's like 7 mining nodes. And then you'd mine at like 5,000 an hour, so you would just leave it there for like a week and just tie it all up. But you could technically say you're doing it. All right, let's do our Selkie skin here. We'll get some hazard resistance just in case. Got it. So watch your faction level. Prior to Op 60, 61 rather, you can take your faction rep as high as you want. If you're level 60, you can have 500 billion faction rep and have it locked. And it won't give you G6 requirements for your dailies because your ops level is still 60. The instant you go to 61, it will now give you the appropriate G6 requirement. All right, so what did I forget? What am I missing? What did I not talk about?